And Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
Number 4, approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 29th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes from June 29th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Moving on to number 5, matters from other department heads or their representatives.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning.
So it's come to my attention that Mr. Kearney at the Department of Inspections would like some direction regarding security issue at some buildings, especially downtown, that have continued to be broken into after board-ups have occurred. And we're looking for a more more stable or strong solution to that issue. I've talked to Mr. Kalina about it. I guess he's spoken to some folks about potentially welding the doors shut as a safety measure, and I just want to make sure that the board, number 1, is okay with that, and number 2, that police department is aware of that, so that we know, which doors are welded and things like that. But we have had some kind of continued concern, and as the board is aware, we've had some fires downtown when people have gotten into buildings and set fires, either on accident or intentionally. I think we've had both. And that's destroyed some significant buildings downtown, which we otherwise would be redeveloping right now. So to kind of avoid that happening again, I'd like to request the board to okay, the inspections department to weld these doors shut if the police department's okay with it.
Yeah, we've had discussion about it, Mr. Smith, the police department, and we're okay with it. So just so you're aware.
All right, so if we could Linda, if you could just let Mr. Kearney know that if the board's good with that, then we can do that.
We don't need any action then?
I mean, I wouldn't mind the board just, accepting my recommendation and
Okay.
letting the inspections know.
Motion to approve Attorney Smith's recommendation on the welding of the doors downtown for security issues.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, moving on to correspondence, is there anything else from department heads or their representatives? Okay, moving on to number 6, correspondence, letter A. Correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval of change order number 1 with Nees Engineering for the Tapper Avenue lighting project, Moss Street to May Street, in the amount of $26,468.60.
Thank you. Good morning to the board. So this is a recommendation by Nees Engineering to make a deductive change order to the agreement with Hawk Incorporated, who did the Tapper lighting project. So this is project savings in the amount of $26,468. I'd ask for your approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve the change order request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $33,100 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Kennedy Avenue Road Diet, and I'm interested to hear what that is actually, and corresponding supplemental agreement number 1 with First Group Engineering.
We like to improve our vocabulary throughout, particularly on Thursdays at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
I learned this term myself a number of years ago. So we're taking Kennedy Avenue from 4 lanes in this segment down to 1 lane in each direction with a center turn lane.
Okay.
So we're dieting 1 lane, we're removing 1 lane. It's, a term that engineers have come up with recently and, think it's cute. So, so this basically extends the project limits. The original project, if you can believe it, was submitted from 169th to Michigan, right? That was the original project, but then the city came in and did 165th to 169th using local funds and ARP funds, thanks to the mayor and the city council. So we adjusted, as you know, prices have increased. So currently there's no additional federal funds involved, but that's sort of a different story. But we did extend the project limits from Michigan north to the entry to Resco, because that segment between Michigan and Resco will also be part of the Marquette Greenway. And so we need to connect the trail system from Michigan, which is being planned through NERC and INDOT, over the Michigan Bridge over Kennedy, when that drops down onto Kennedy, it'll go into that nature preserve area to the north of the toll road. And so that segment is being added in this case. This is for design services and a supplemental to the environmental document that's needed to get approval for this project. And so I'd ask, well, first of all, the Capital Improvements Board met last evening and approved this agreement. And I would also let you know that that agreement prior to that had been approved by the city controller and the mayor. I noticed that you have a photocopy because those green sheets hadn't yet come back from the clerk, right? So last night, we had our Capital Improvements Board meeting, and it was approved last evening. So we'll make sure the board has the appropriate funding allocation today, because it's ready for you. It's just in the clerk's office.
Okay, so I guess the question is, because it's not signed by anybody, are we still okay to approve it based on what?
Mr. Button, as far as
So-
what his understanding is.
Thank you, Attorney Smith. Last night, we approved this, and the process is the funding allocation, and you'll have a couple more. Those funding allocations go to the city controller for approval, then it goes to the mayor for approval, and then it goes to the Capital Improvements Board. And last night, rather than Monday night, we didn't have a meeting. We moved our meeting to Wednesday night, so there was a time gap between the time that the clerk could get it to the board. But I'm here to attest that all three signatures have been signed, and I would ask for your approval of both the.
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay.
Motion to approve Mr. Budden's request for the funding allocation and supplemental agreement with the understanding that the signature page will be provided.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, letter C, correspondence from Dean Button requesting $9,000 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Summer Street Advanced Clearing, Howard's Tree Service, submitted for approval.
To the board, we had a condition where we needed to remove the trees prior to April 1st, so we hired Howard Tree Service to remove those trees in advance of that. We've been invoiced from them. The invoice is for $9,000. The Capital Improvements Board met last evening and approved the funding allocation, and I will attest also that the city controller and the mayor have approved the funding allocation. We just need to get you the paperwork for that.
Okay.
Motion to approve Mr. Budden's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $44,885.66 CIB funding to be allocated for the 2023 sidewalk program, supplemental funding submitted for approval.
We went over budget. We had budgeted $300,000 this year for sidewalk. We went over budget by the stated amount. So it's just to tidy up the loose end. The funding allocation was approved last night at the Capital Improvements Board, and I will attest that the city controller and the mayor have signed off on the funding allocation.
Okay.
Motion to approve Mr. Budden's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $100,000 of CIB funding to be allocated for the citywide striping with traffic management company, submitted for approval.
Thank you. This agreement, the Board of Public Works and Safety, I believe it was at the last meeting, agreed to accept the prices from traffic management consultants. We had bid the project out, received no bids. We solicited a quotation as suggested by our city attorney or corporation counsel, and we've done that. Now we're setting a budget for that. So the board's already approved the baseline agreement with TMC, and I will attest that both the city controller, the mayor, and the Capital Improvements Board have approved the funding allocation as of last evening.
Motion to approve Mr. Budden's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter F, correspondence received from Enviro Forensics LLC recommending to award the contract for the removal and replacement of lead-impacted soil environmental remediation project to Blue River Environmental and Restoration Incorporated in the amount of $2,793,464, submitted for approval.
This is phase 3, the final phase of the Robertsdale lead impacted soil remediation project. We opened bids last week, or the board opened bids last week for this project. I agree with the recommendation by the consultant.
Motion to approve the recommendation from Enviroforensics as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter G, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the petition for retirement received from Sergeant Dave Massey to become effective at the close of business on September 30th, 2023, and the petition for retirement received from Sergeant Sean Garrison to become effective at the close of business on September 9th, 2023.
Motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good old Davis. Letter H, correspondence received from Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement devices license for UFO Bar and Grill, El Taco Real, Sportsman's Tap, Sokol Club 269, Good Time Charlie's, Dick's Are You Crazy Incorporated, Portside Pub, Just Tony's Bar, and VFW Post 7881.
Motion to approve the Controller's Office's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, letter I. Correspondence received from Eileen Abera requesting street closures for the Festival of the Lakes from 5 p.m. Wednesday, July 12th, 2023, through Sunday, July 16th, 2023, at midnight with attached streets.
I just wanted to make sure that it was midnight. I assume she was midnight on Monday the 17th?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to, just wording, but I know that's what she means, yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve Ms. Ibarra's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter J, correspondence received from Eileen Abera requesting to hold a commercial fireworks display on Friday, July 14th and Saturday, July 15th at the City of Hammond's annual Festival of the Lakes on the island of Wolf Lake Memorial Park, beginning at approximately 10:30 to 11 p.m. on both nights.
Motion to approve Eileen's request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to letter K, correspondence received from Aaron Eggers, First Baptist Church, requesting to close off a portion of Oakley Street from Sibley Street North to Willow Court, State Street from the parking lot before the Hammond Public Library, west to the bridge on Homan from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Monday, July 17th until Thursday, July 20th, 2023. Yeah, we dealt with this last year, right? Yeah, same thing. Okay.
Could you refer this to engineering too, because we have the Westlake project that could impact the closure. So if you could refer that to engineering just for clarity.
Gotcha.
You can make a recommendation.
Motion to refer this matter to engineering for further review.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 7, matters from board members. Either of you have anything? Number 8, new business. Letter A, disposal authorizations received from the Hammond Police Department submitted for approval.
Motion to approve the disposal authorizations as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, agreement to purchase real estate located at 5509 Walter Avenue submitted for approval.
Another Jacob Square project, if we could I'd ask that that be approved as presented.
Gotcha.
Motion to approve 5509 Walter as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter C, first extension of agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1430 Stanton Avenue submitted for approval.
It's a request from Mr. Luter. I'd request that it be approved as presented. I believe it's signed by the owner.
It is.
All right. And could we also set I think at the top, we're starting to put those dates.
September 29th
Could we set a status for somewhere right around there, maybe the week or two before?
before it? The 14th or the 21st?
Let's go the 14th.
Okay.
Motion to approve the first extension of the agreement to rehabilitate 1430 Stanton and set for status for September 14th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, right-of-way permits received from the engineering department submitted for approval. I
believe it's just the one,
Yes.
correct? It's
Yes.
Pinnacle Concrete.
Yes.
They're just doing a driveway, actually sidewalk replacement, need to work in the right of way. I talked to the contractor Monday and promised I'd get this approved this week. So if you could approve that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Motion to approve the right-of-way permits as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter E, funding allocation request forms received requesting $10,000 from 6th District Gaming Fund, 2nd District Gaming Fund, and 4th District Gaming Funds to be allocated to the Park Department Gaming for Festival of the Lakes, and $85,000 of 2nd District Gaming Funds to be allocated for the sidewalk program repairs for the 2nd District submitted for approval. All good, guys? Signed by the mayor and controller.
Sidewalk, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve the funding allocation requests as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter F, garage sale permits submitted for approval. 2 days, 1 day.
Motion to approve the garage sale permits as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, moving on to number 9, old business. Letter A, status for 837 169th Street.
Last week, I brought up my paper, submitted it, so I don't know what is the status of it. You decided anything?
Jack's here too. if
Yeah,
you
we
need it.
asked that the head of sewer maintenance department, come up, Jack Smith, to give the board an update on, he sent what you sent us to him, so he can make an investigation. So, Mr. Smith, if you could come up and, just update the board on your findings.
I believe that structure is gonna be on private property. It's something that the sewer department cannot touch. I went back 30 years into our records, into our archives, and we have no work history of ever doing anything there. So that is not gonna be ours. The two buildings that are 837 and 835, their gutters are dumping into the rear parking lot. On this gentleman's property right here, he has an 8-inch pipe that's going into the ground. We have no clue where it's going. So this is a little bit, this is why he has so much water that's going on that property. The old bar that's right next door, he also has gutters that are going down on the side of his property that are not connected, which is adding more water to that parking lot.
So the water's flowing from adjacent properties towards the sewer.
Yes.
Actually, it's from the alley, all the water from the alley comes there to my roadway. There's a lump on the other street, the east side, and the water doesn't go that way because it's way too high. The water just sinks there. If you go right now there, you see a lake behind my parking.
Of course, you're gonna see a lake. It just rained last night, 2.75 inches of rain. But I do got pictures that if you can look at.
We
I
did.
went out there when you guys asked me to. I took pictures then. I took pictures the next day at 10:30. That water is receding, and it was just around the actual sewer cover. So that French drain is working. It's percolating into the ground, and it's doing its job.
I was wondering, it seems like such a big manhole cover for it just to like kind of sit. Is it a small drain underneath a big manhole cover? Or is
Nope, it's a large,
Should it be able to satisfy that flow? Or why do you think
it percolates into the ground. It just takes its time.
Oh, it goes into the ground,
It
it's
goes
not
in.
connected?
No, it is not. On Road Street between the two streets,
Yeah.
we've never had sewers in that area. There's no sewers.
No sewer in the alley either, right, Jeff?
There's no sewers in the alley or on that side
Yeah,
street.
that was a question that came up this morning, so thanks for asking that.
Yes.
So,
Could the crown of the alley be, was the alley recently paved or anything like that that would have caused it to change the elevation?
I'm told by Mark Gordish that the alleys were paved in the late 1990s.
Okay, so now
So
you.
no change has been made recently. There's no sewers in the area.
No.
This structure too.
So capping it wouldn't have any concern by us, right? It's his sewer, right? Or
It would
his, yeah,
just
it's
continue.
his drain.
It would just continue to
It would just
stand in
sit.
water.
Yeah.
If you look at the crown of the alley compared to this gentleman's property, it's at least 6 to 8 inches below grade.
Which is lower? Alley
His property line
is lower.
is way lower, according to the pictures that I took. So with that being said, since there is a crown in that alley, all of the houses that are sit on the north side, that water's gonna stay on that side. It's gonna actually stay in their yards to the north of that alleyway.
Right.
And, well, it's gonna be different on the south side because you have the businesses and houses that are, the water's gonna flow that way, and it's gonna go down to its lowest point, which is this gentleman's property.
So the only thing that he could really do is try to get better gutters to get the water out to that drainage?
For those two flat roofs, he has oversized gutters, they're 6 inch. So he's dumping a lot of water to the rear of that property.
My my water from the roof drains in the back of my building. There's some sewer that runs in the back and goes to the street. Just in my building, yes, back of my building, this drainage goes into the main building, to the main sewer. So basically, I don't need that basin in my back, so I don't use it. That water comes from the alley, from my neighbor, and sits in there.
Well, but you mentioned last week capping off the sewer.
Right.
Which I don't think we care, right? That has nothing to do with the city?
It's not connected to anything.
Right.
It's a French drain, so it only percolates into the ground.
So if you eliminate that structure, he thinks he has flooding now?
It's gonna be a lot more water.
He's in for a rude awakening because that whole entire parking lot will be underwater.
But that will be in the alley. That drain, that is like 4 inches away from the main line of the alley.
This one, there's no sewer in the alley, sir, at all. There's no sewer.
But I don't think it's my responsibility to provide drainage for the people in the back of Cherry Street, because that's where the water comes.
I do too, but I don't know what we can.
It is not my responsibility, and also my neighbor.
There's never been a sewer in that alley, sir.
The city has to do something, isn't it?
I don't know what we can do here. I mean, but he has, I guess I want to make sure clear, he can cap it if he wants to, correct? It's going to cause more flooding.
It's his private property. There's no sewer, so he's not going to affect the system. But I defer to
gonna-
Jack on that. And I would,
The person who's in the back in the house that is in the rear of the parking
Right.
of that property, is already complaining to me.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's,
So you're gonna have a lot of phone calls from Cherry Street and the people on 169 complaining about it.
what I would do, by the way, also, is that if you want to have questions about sewers and storm sewers and everything, that goes to the sanitary district board.
They didn't want to deal with it. They sent me to the city.
Okay, well,
Well,
I'm not sure what
I
we
can show you this. This is your building right here.
Yes.
You have a gutter that's coming down here, hold on, drains into this parking lot. This one is connected. Where this one's going, I have no
It
clue.
goes to the main sewer.
Now, this one here is going to the parking lot. Your building over here. This gentleman's gutter, this is another flat roof. This goes right down to the side of his property.
No, it doesn't drain there. It goes to the street. Because it's lower. The
Here you go.
side is a little bit lower.
Pictures don't lie. The gutter's not connected.
But his water, I know that goes away
No.
because before we put the high roller, the asphalt there,
Yeah.
the water will run that way toward the street.
Well, I-
We put the asphalt,
Pictures
it
don't
can
lie.
be higher.
I think this is something we can probably debate all day, but sir, the bottom line is the city's not responsible for that. So if you choose to cap it, that is your decision. You've been told that it's probably going to cause you more flooding though, so that's up to you whether you decide to do it or not.
I'm not in the need of that basin in the back. Last time I cleaned it, it cost me $1,000.
I think you're more in need of it than you think you are, but I understand your point about the alley.
Right.
But it's your decision at this point. The city's not responsible for it, so if you choose to cap it, that is your decision.
and we don't have any records of the alley being paved or anything for over 30 years, so there's no change in circumstances as far as the city's concerned.
Right here, there's this bump, so the water won't go to the street.
Probably.
Understand it. This crown of the street, you see how high this is? This water will never come this way. You will flood, this whole parking lot will flood
That's it?
if you remove this.
Yeah.
I'm telling, I've been doing this for 30 years. You will flood.
I don't need it. Just like, I would
I
like.
I think
a
we're,
letter.
Sir,
letter
we're,
from the city stating that that's my private property, I can do anything with there with.
with that drain, yes, you can. We made that clear, yes.
You're not gonna get a letter from the city saying where your property is your property. You do with your property what you want. We don't tell people what to do necessarily with the property unless you're violating an ordinance or otherwise causing a nuisance or things like that. But it's your property. We don't tell you where your property line is, you determine that. And if you come on the city property, we'll let you know that that's a problem.
Okay, so we're clear on that, sir. If you choose to cap it, that's your decision, okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Jack. Thank you very much.
We're not taking any action.
Okay, no, we don't need an action there, right?
No.
Okay. Moving on to letter B, status for 2314 Indianapolis Boulevard.
Mr. Luder.
Good morning.
Good morning. I spoke with the contractor yesterday. We have a rough framing inspection scheduled today. They're not too concerned about the outside. They've been trying to get that inside ready, and then the outside will get done. I'm not sure if they're expired on their rehab agreement. If we need to, can we get another 90-day rehab agreement to the owner? Yeah, I can send that email this afternoon.
So,
So they're moving
as long as
on.
we have a status and it's moving forward, that's great. Let's set another status for 90 days, and in the meantime, we'll get the extension bill just send it.
Okay. September 14th, or excuse me, October what, 5th? October 5th, 12th, 5th? October 5th.
Should be okay.
Motion to set 2314 Indianapolis Boulevard for status for October 5th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Did you get that, Bill? October
Yes.
5th? Okay. Okay, letter C, status for 1806 Brown.
I completed the demo inspection yesterday with the owner, Mr. Dobris. I would like to apologize to the resident that was here a few weeks ago, about a month ago, when we had that status.
Yes.
The house, the interior is much worse than had been expected. I have not completed the report as of yet. We had some discussions that we can continue on as far as zoning and moving forward on the property, but at this point, we can send the rehab agreement, but
Okay.
it's pretty bad if the board would like to see.
Have you guys decided to keep it and work on it, or?
Well, that's what I wanted to.
It hasn't been, has it been signed or anything yet? No. Okay. Yeah, I remember this house now. Okay, what action do you need us to take to approve the rehabilitation?
We don't have a rehab yet.
We don't have a rehab agreement yet. We just got, I don't even know if it's got the inspection report yet.
I haven't had a chance to type it out. I
Okay.
finished it yesterday afternoon.
The status.
Status.
For how long?
30 days?
I'd say 30, that'll give us enough
And
time to
if-
get the rehab agreement over to the owner.
And if he's got some.
We hear what he has to say first.
Good morning, Mickey Dobris.
Good morning.
So kind of the options that we're playing around with, as it sits to repair it, I'm looking at a pretty big financial loss. So I already have some money into it, and I'm debating and trying to get all the options first. The ideal thing, excuse me, the first thing we're trying to figure out is if it is, even though it's a small chance, if there's a possibility to rezone it and put up a duplex in place that would allow the project to be financially viable and for us to proceed with a full demo and then a full rebuild with a duplex in place. That's a long shot, but that's what we were discussing yesterday, and that's something that I would like to find out first before we move on to anything else. The second thing is, it's my understanding that if the city demolishes it, you guys fill it, and then essentially I have to go through zoning again to make sure that it's up to the new ordinances if I were to rebuild, right?
Right.
From what we saw and what we discussed, the substructure looks in good shape, and I would like to proceed to find out more about that and see if we can just demolish the building itself, the wood, and then build on the foundation.
A single family or duplex?
Single family. Duplex would be ideal, but I know that's a long shot. I would like to explore that first But as a secondary option, it would be to take it down to the cement, to the foundation, and then rebuild entirely off of that. And I'm not sure if I need an agreement with the city to do that.
So if we demo it, if the city demos it, they'll put a lien on it.
I'm saying if I demo
If
it.
you demo it, I'm sure we can figure that out.
I have some answers to that question. That's stuff since he brought it up, we can discuss.
Yeah, I think Mr. Luter and Mr. Dovers are gonna probably meet on this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How much time do we need to get all that figured out?
30 days work for you, sir?
Yeah, what would be the date in 30 days? I'm sorry.
We can make it August 10th?
Yeah, that works.
Is that it works?
Yeah.
Bill, does that work for you? Okay.
And as far as what he brought up, that's the stuff that we had discussed. It's a 45-foot lot. Speaking with Assistant City Planner Tom Novak, because it's a 45-foot lot, even tearing it down to the foundation would require a zoning variance because the lot's only 45-foot wide and its proximity to the property lines.
Right.
There is an empty lot next door of a house that was demolished. He could look into purchasing that, and he wouldn't need any kind of BZA. As far as a duplex up there, the area is zoned R1, and a duplex would not be allowed
Okay.
as a new build. There are some that are already there that were done before zoning ordinances,
Okay.
but a new build would not be allowed.
So we're satisfied that by August 10th, we'll have these answers?
He
We're
can
good with that?
He can speak with Tom, and
Okay.
and we can work it out together and see if what decisions he and his family
Okay,
make.
that's what we're going to set it for then, okay? Okay.
Motion to set 1806 Brown for status on August 10th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. And we're getting to the dog days of this meeting now, aren't we? Letter D, correspondence received from Javier Rodriguez requesting for another rental registration hearing for 4315 Holman Avenue. Previously waived for. Okay, gotcha. Did you know that, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the property that was set for last week where the owner failed to appear, and then had previous appeal hearings for 20 and 21 in 2022, and then I believe the year prior. So it would be my recommendation that the board deny his request for an additional hearing. However, I will leave that decision up to you guys.
We agree.
Motion to deny Mr. Rodriguez's request for an additional rental registration hearing.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, letter E, correspondence received from Connie Miramontes, 1024 Hoffman Street, requesting permission to have a block party on July 9th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Ms. Miramontes states traffic will be accessible through Hoffman and both alleys. Previously approved block party was canceled due to weather. No, 10 was good, right? Yeah.
Motion to approve Ms. Miramontes' request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Moving on to number 10, rental registration hearings. Letter A, 12 Doty Street is the first one. Good morning. Could you give us your name, please, ma'am?
My name is Chintru Oluka.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Okay, what happened in 2022?
Okay, 2022 for this property was not rented. I didn't rent it. So early this year, January, I went and applied for rental permit. At that time, they told me that I did not register for rental permit for 2022. So at that point, I explained to them that it wasn't rented, so they said I should come to court.
So it was never rented, not even for one day in
Not
2022?
even, no, not even for one day.
Did anybody stay in the property during that time?
No.
Okay.
So what we have is, they were listed as the owner since September 10th of 2021. However, the previous owner had already submitted a registration for 21. Now, this property, the previous owner has been registered as vacant for 5 years prior to them taking over. Essentially, meaning it sat vacant for 6 years. It's a 2-unit, and she did come in, register for 23, so we're here for the 2022 registration. Now, we do have the vacant property ordinance, which would require if the building sat vacant for 90 days or longer, they would have until October 1st to register for $300. So she's on the affidavits. It's a short-term allowance that would be submitted prior to April 15th. If they're in between tenants, let's say, like cleaning out one of the units and whatnot. But long-term vacancy, like, 6-year vacant property, would require that vacant property registration ordinance to be met. So if that's the case, if it was vacant for the whole year, then that ordinance would probably kick in.
For the one, just for the 1 year only, it would kick in?
Yeah, for 2022, so she would submit a vacant property registration form with the $300 payment for 2022, and the rental registration, since she has a tenant in the building now, that would be covered for 23.
Were you aware of that, ma'am?
No.
Okay, is that something that, because it's the first time, can we waive that? Do we have the ability to do something with that?
Yeah,
21.
if
21.
if she would like to submit the rental registration form with the units listed as vacant, like the previous owner did, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's something, so she can pay the $5 for
Correct.
2022 instead of the 300?
Correct.
Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Because we can waive the late fee for 2022, and it costs you $5 instead of $300.
Yes.
I would think, I'd think that'd be okay, right?
Total, because there's 2 units.
Oh, 10, that's right, 10,
If
yeah.
the property did become vacant again in the future for a period of 90 days, then she would need to register it as vacant.
So we don't even need to mention the other, okay, so we'll just waive the 2 years.
Thank you.
Excuse me, see,
Yes, sir.
see, it's okay if I say something. I mean, the place is rented to one person. There's one person living there now. Only one person. You go up and down.
So is one side vacant and one side is
No,
rented?
it's one.
One person rents both units?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I don't know that that matters though, right?
No.
Yeah.
The existence of the 2 units are what, because if you were to sell it tomorrow, somebody would still have the ability to go and rent it to
Yeah.
2 separate.
Yeah.
So in the event they elect to convert the property to a single-family home and physically remove the second unit, then they would just need to hire a contractor.
I'm gonna see if-
So, but that would be all.
What do we need to do about 2023?
It's already registered.
Okay, good. Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee for 12 Doty for the year of 2022.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
If you'd like to stay till the meeting's over with, you can register for $10 for both units today, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on to letter B, 6507 Rhode Island.
Same owner for these 2.
Thanks for explaining that. I'd never heard the $300 one before. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can you give us your name, please?
It's Abimael Luciano.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead and tell us what happened in 2023.
Well, 2023, I was living there up until March 26, around there. We just purchased another property, and we were in the process of moving, so we ended up getting that one ready to rent. So we moved out, got it ready for rent, rented out by April 1st, and then I was doing another move, going to where we were moving to, primary residence now, and I came June 16th to register that one, and I didn't know it was 30 days I had. So it was around, yes, it was 760, it was 2 months that I took to do it. So I realized then, and while I was doing that to do the rental registration there, and I realized it was, or they told me it was over the 30 days, they also told me that I didn't do the one for the other property that I had, 6507.
Okay.
So that's when I was aware of that, and that's why I'm here hoping to to waive the
I
boat.
believe he's speaking on Ohio at this point.
Yeah, I was
Is
speaking about
letter
Ohio.
C his also?
Yes.
Okay,
That's when we just moved from Ohio.
okay.
And so what I have for 6507 Rhode Island, is that the property was registered, and since 2021, they've owned it since 2019, April of 2019. So it's a single-family home, and it was registered 21 and 22. Now, on those rental registrations, for 2021, they list their home address as 1474 Atlas, and then in 2022 is when 6535 Ohio is listed as their personal residence. Now, they've owned the property on Ohio, though, since, let's see, since 2020. So there's 2 years there then that, was it rented out, or?
No,
Okay.
we were
So
there.
this is-
Yeah.
You were there?
My, 1474 is my in-laws, and we kind of use that address sometimes. But we also stayed there, because in 2019, we bought the 6507, and we then moved to my in-laws for about 6 or 7 months. We got the house in 6534. We bought that one in 2020 of, I believe it was April, and we moved there in July of 2020. So we were just renovating. We had termites there, and we were renovating a lot. Now in 2023, in March, we bought another property, and we was in March. So by April, we rented out the 6534. And it was just a lot going on around that time. But I went to go and register in June, and that's when I was told about the
Yeah,
both
so I
houses.
do see that their home address is in Crown Point, correct?
Yeah, that's where we
Okay.
just moved.
Yeah, and they just purchased that property in '23. There is a homestead tax exemption being claimed on the Ohio property. I'm not sure if they hired contractors to perform the remodeling that they're discussing, or the termite damage, which would be structural work. So when we have a rental property, licensed contractors are required to do that work and pull permits to have inspections done. So if, he's questioning that, maybe a potential inspection might be needed on the rental property where the remodeling was done. Other than that, the property on Rhode Island, where for 2023, single-family home, it's been registered for 21 and 22, and then Ohio's never been registered as a rental.
Up until,
It
it was going to be March, yeah.
Right, so it appears that,
Or it was going to be June.
they listed as their occupancy on the rental registration for Rhode Island, last year, so.
And he's owned Ohio since when?
2020.
So do we need an affidavit then for those years?
I would suggest, filing just that if they're claiming they occupied the property and as their primary residence, then and I would just, warn him to make sure that he puts true and accurate information down on the rental
Correct.
registration forms. If
Right.
they're using an in-laws address, technically it would, make the rental registration null and void at that point.
Okay, so what years do we need the affidavits for?
For 2020 and 2020, well, actually from 2020 through 2022 at this point for Ohio. And then he would need to register for 2023. And then also, he would need to complete the homestead exemption removal form, since they are claiming a homestead on their
This is
Crown
just for
Point address.
23.
And then that's for the Ohio address. And then for 6507 Rhode Island, we would just need 2023 rental registration with an accurate home address.
Okay, I think we got it now. Okay, you good, T? Yeah, yeah.
Motion to waive the late fees for 6507 Rhode Island and 6534 Ohio, with the understanding that you'll get the affidavit completed for 20 to 22 and remove the homestead exemption on Ohio.
Yep. Do I stay and talk to somebody about that?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll get it for you, yeah.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You understand all that, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, the meeting will be over shortly, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have two other property addresses for rental registration hearings that appeared that do not appear on the agenda this morning.
Okay,
The first one is 910 through 912 Ames. Mr. and Mrs. Peppers, if you like, you can step up.
Good morning.
good morning.
My name is Ruby Peppers, and the reason why I didn't get my permit, I was in the hospital, I had a stroke. And I didn't tell my son what to do, I couldn't talk.
That's your first time?
Yeah. She's the only owner of record. It's a duplex. We're here for 22 and 23, and she's registered on time every year prior.
2 units for 2 years, so for $20. Yep.
Motion to waive the late fees for 910 and through 912 Ames Street.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ma'am, if you want to stay till the meeting's over, you can register today if you'd
Okay.
like to. Okay, thank you.
The second and last property is 7438 Jackson Avenue. Ms. Welch?
You said Jackson, right? Okay.
Hello, my
Good
name
morning.
is Lacey Welch. Good morning.
Tell us what happened in 2023.
This was my father-in-law's primary residence up until late February, and I came in April to register, but it was our first time doing this. I was informed I needed a signed lease at that point, and we signed for May 1. I came in shortly thereafter, and then I was informed that I needed a different insurance policy because it had not converted yet from the primary residence homeowners to a rentals.
Gotcha.
And at that point, I had expressed my concern about the April 15th deadline, and they told me that that did not apply because of the May 1, but I was not informed that there was a secondary 30-day deadline. And it's just been a rough year with a lot of other extraordinary circumstances, so
Okay,
we just didn't know that there was a second deadline.
okay.
This is the first time it's being occupied as a rental property. I would just request that they do file the appropriate paperwork to remove the homestead tax exemption.
We have already done that. We've been twice to Lake County. It's another one of those. The issue is the veterans homestead, that he's trying to get it added to his new primary residence.
Gotcha.
So that is in works.
Yeah, normally it takes a year, maybe two, or depending on Lake County.
Okay,
As long as that's filed, then I'm good.
okay.
Motion to waive the late fee for 7438 Jackson.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, the meeting's open to the public. Would anybody like to speak?
Chris?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks, everyone.